guys, this is Modest Major here, bringing you some commentary over some Overwatch Xbox One beta footage. Overwatch is pretty much surfacing as the new big shooter in town, co-releasing on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. It's not too often we see games doing that, especially considering that Blizzard is like a PC developer mainly, predominantly. They have released games in the past, co-released games, but sometimes they didn't necessarily release in the best functionality. Diablo 3 was kind of an okay one, but it was a little bit less feature-rich, and there are a couple of drawbacks to playing it on console, but it was still, you know, for the most part, a pretty enjoyable port. But then along comes Overwatch, and this is just a game that has been the talk of the town. It feels like everyone got their hands on this beta, including BBK Dragoon, and I'm definitely jealous of him for that. You know, they had this closed beta running for the last couple of months, but now this beta is available if you have pre-ordered the Overwatch Collector's Edition, but then on May 5th it will become open to everyone. Hopefully that wasn't too confusing to you guys. But yeah, essentially you're going to get your hands on this beta, and I just want to quickly give my thoughts on my experiences so far. That opening clip that you saw with the music, that was me playing a character by the name of Bastion. His super ability, you know, they're kind of a bit like super abilities from Destiny, I guess you might say, but they're balanced a little bit more thoughtfully in my opinion, and they're a lot more interesting, and they kind of, you know, merge with their character a little bit better. Kind of Destiny super abilities, in my opinion, felt a little bit slapped on. You know, you think about the Hunter super ability, and the fact that you're just given a one-hit kill weapon that kills 3 people for free. It just seems a little bit questionable, and in this game, if you have a super-powered, overpowered, like, super ability, it probably fits in well with the rest of the character's build, and it's kind of like a one-time usage, and it might have a lot of cooldown, or you might not get to use it for too long at a time, and it usually has its drawbacks, its strengths, and its weaknesses in comparison to other characters. And I really do have to give props to Blizzard for just how much of a polished product they have put out. When you think about ports that seem to connect between the PC and the Xbox One, they come out on both systems at once, and that's including the PS4, sorry, I should preface. It seems like there's a lot of examples of either the PC or the console release having its weaknesses as a result of both products co-releasing. And this is early days, of course, so like it's hard to say for sure if this is the truth, but for the most part, checking Twitter, checking social media, checking the subreddits, people seem to be, for the most part, pretty happy with the product that they are receiving. You know, a lot of times what you find, for example, with the recent Doom release, you found that the PC version was kind of hardware lacking, at least on the beta. You know, it had a frame cap on it. It feels like the auto-aim has been, you know, dumbed down in terms for the console version. And obviously, like, you have these loadouts and stuff like that, which they work a little bit better on the console side of things, where having a rocket launcher at spawn isn't that bad, that drastic of an issue. But then on a PC, having this really powerful, you know, fully functional rocket launcher from your spawn, where you're getting a much higher level of precision on the PC, it just seems like you can kind of destroy people, and it seems like they're kind of catering more to the console side of things, and they don't necessarily mind if the balance is affected on the PC side of things. And you will see a couple of examples of that on the console version. For me personally, like the character McCree, who has like the cowboy pistol, that pistol is a lot more difficult to use on the console version of the game than it is on the PC, because obviously precision comes a lot easier on the PC. You have these higher sensitivities and higher DPI of the mouse. It's a lot easier to get away with landing all those shots in that 6-shooter, but on the console you're going to be having to basically try hard your anus off to make that work, and I feel like as a result certain characters might work a little bit better on the console version and not necessarily on the PC version. I think kind of cheesier characters work a little bit better on the console. You know, they become a little bit more viable because you're not necessarily going to be hitting all your shots with the precision characters. You know, very few characters in this game have aim down sight, and that's something to consider as you're going forward. But nonetheless, I do want to say that these weaknesses seem to, like, they don't seem to hamper the game in a particularly frustrating way, and that was definitely something I was scared about coming into this game. I was like, oh, am I getting the weaker version of this title? Am I getting the vanilla version? Should I really be buying this on console, or maybe should I get into the PC side of things? And I can confirm that, at least for my taste, someone who's played a lot of console shooters and a couple PC shooters, but I'm definitely more experienced on the console side of things, I think this game works really well on consoles, and I think it's really enjoyable. And I absolutely love the variety in the classes. I absolutely love the art style that they've chosen for this game. It definitely has that Pixar vibe going for it. It's vibrant, it's colourful. A lot of the shooters that you've seen releasing, especially in the AAA market, for me personally, art design, I feel like it's been taking a hit. You know, you look at the recent Call of Duty games, there just seems to be this industrial vibe that seems to be going through every single map that they put out, and I just don't think there's enough variety, you know, in the spaces that are being sent to us and in the color palettes. And when you're playing these maps for such a long time, it really does wear down on you when, you know, you're seeing the same kind of environments and the color palette just isn't really striking, it isn't vivid. You know, you learn these maps inside out. You want something nice to look at, and Overwatch is such a great game to look at, and it's really smooth in terms of the tightness of controls, in terms of the fluidity of the movement, and, you know, using the abilities. The abilities seem like they're easy to pick up, but difficult to master, which is something really exciting, and I find myself wanting to put hours into characters. And a lot of times in these class-type games and these character class games, you know, something like Team Fortress 2, for example, I only find 2 or 3 classes that I really magnetize towards, but these classes seem so well fleshed out and so interesting in terms of their personality and their viability that, like, from first impressions, I found myself switching between characters on the fly and finding something interesting about each character as I went. And yeah, like this character here, Reaper, with the 2 shotguns, I think is one of the most badass characters I've ever seen. He throws his shotguns to the ground once he's done with the clip. He can go invincible for a small period of time, which means you can get these really interesting flanking routes, and you can kind of distract people from your team. And flanking is basically what this character is centered around. But then you'll get other characters who are more tanky, more defense orientated. You'll get characters that are healing, and it seems like putting together a team is something that's going to be really exciting, and you're going to constantly have activities to pursue. You know, there's a lot of abilities per each character, so they're not just going to be stuck to this one mindless role of like holding the healing button. They should have other abilities such as putting down ice walls, such as teleporting, such as calling in support via turrets. It's really interesting, and I've got to say I am so impressed with my first impressions of the game, not expecting much going into it, thinking that maybe the PC version would be superior. I've got a lot of positive stuff to say, and one of the other cool things I want to go over is at the end of each game they show like a final kill cam, and it's not just the last kill like it was in Call of Duty. In this game they show like the best moment of the entire match, so if someone got some sort of multi-kill with a sniper rifle, that should most likely show up at the end of the title, and then everyone can see and you can show it off. And then they also have this section where people can upvote the best like individual moments, player aspects of the match. So for example, if one player healed 5 people during the match, that will come up on this little card, and then everyone in the lobby votes what they thought was the best moment. So there could be like, you know, a 20 kill streak, there could be like healed X amount of people, and if you get 5 votes you unlock a loot box. I believe that's what you unlock. I could be wrong on that, I'm still new to this game, but nonetheless, I love that player interaction. I love keeping the players invested even while they're on the menu. It seems like a really well fleshed out game. It seems like something that's really going to get their hooks into people, both on console and PC. And I'm really excited for the future of this game. So yeah, that's been my first impressions of Overwatch. I hope you guys check it out on May the 5th, unless you have the code already. But yeah, I've been Modest Major. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Peace out.